Good evening. You're watching the late news on HKIBC. I'm Isabel Wong. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Severe Typhoon Mangkhut slams into Hong Kong and causes widespread damage. Storm floods many parts of the city. And in a rare move, casino operations suspended in Macau due to typhoon. Well, Hurricane Signal number 10 was enforced for 10 hours today, slamming the city with extremely strong winds and heavy rain. As severe Typhoon Mangkhut slowly moved away from the city, the observatory downgraded the storm signal to number 8 a few hours ago. More than 210 people have sought treatment from hospitals, while the government said the 999 emergency line was extremely busy this afternoon. At least 179 reports of fallen trees have been received, as well as about 20 reports of flooding. The Education Bureau has announced the suspension of all schools tomorrow to allow time for a citywide cleanup operation and repair of community facilities. With gusts of 256 kilometers per hour, Mangkhut toppled cranes, sent debris flying and blew out windows of some homes. Yupina Ng reports.
Typhoon Mangkhut came in like a wrecking ball. Mobile phone footage provided by a resident in Tai Kok Tsui showed just how powerful the winds were, blowing down a crane at a construction site of a high-rise luxury residence. A separate clip taken from a different position showed the crane crashing down onto the rooftop of an adjacent tenement building. Firefighters arrived at the scene to make sure no one was trapped underneath the rubble. Police said no one was injured. The havoc Mangkhut wreaked in the area didn't end there. Another old tenement building, also on Tai Kok Tsui Road, had its external wall and part of its rooftop torn away under strong winds. Smashed bricks littered the ground, prompting police to cordon off the area in case anyone was hit by more falling debris. In Hong Kong, gusts punched through panes of glass on the exterior of an office complex near the waterfront. Apart from window frames, documents and other items were dancing in the air as they were blown out of office units. But if you think staying at home would keep you 100% safe, residents of Lohas Park in Cheung Kwan O might tell you otherwise. Windows inside these bedrooms were shattered. Debris was scattered across the bedroom. Video footage circulated online showed several other flats from the same housing complex also had their windows broken. The area was also hit by serious floods. On the other side of the harbour, Siu Sai Wan sports ground was turned into a giant pool. The track and the pitch were swallowed by a backflow of seawater, while the stands were also partially submerged. Yupinam, HKIBC.
Severe Typhoon Mangkhut also brought widespread flooding to many areas across the city today. Sarah Wong reports.
Hang Fa Chun was battered by Typhoon Hato last year, leaving the area damaged from flooding. History repeated itself today. A wall of sandbags was set up to protect against severe Typhoon Mangkhut, but they were easily brought down by the storm. Strong tides pummeled the housing estate in Chai Wan. Powerful gusts tripped over chairs. Large tides battered buildings. The onslaught left the area severely flooded. Rubbish and debris was everywhere. Roads around the estate were inundated. Drinks became water springs. Strong gusts brought down dozens of trees. Although Mangkhut was one of the most powerful storms to hit the city in decades, some people decided to venture out. This woman came to see the fierce tide, despite warnings by the government to stay away from shorelines. She said she wasn't afraid of the surges and would only watch while conditions remained safe. In cyclone, ships slammed against piers and sea walls. The fishing village of Tai O was also pounded by rain and wind. Seawater turned streets into rivers. Most of the residents have been evacuated, but some still refused to leave. Lei Yumun couldn't escape from flooding either. Waters came up to people's knees and immersed cars. Sarah Wong, HKIBC.
The MTR is running limited service between some stations, but full services will not resume tonight due to damage to the railway network.
We identified 50 locations with serious damage to our railway system. And among these 50, we have 19 locations which have a tree falling affecting the overhead line. And with 6 happened in light rail, which was found to be seriously damaging our overhead line. And we will try our best to recover the system. And would all passengers please take care your sort of journey in the coming morning.
With the arrival of any typhoon, flight disruptions are inevitable. Mangkhut caused the cancellation of nearly 1,000 flights today. Here's Yupina Ng.
The airport authority and all airlines warned ahead of severe Typhoon Mangkhut's arrival that there would be major flight disruptions today. But that didn't stop many people from heading to the airport. Some had no choice but to ride out the storm there. They camped at the departure hall, waiting for the latest update from their airline. While airport restaurants and shops remained open, and a handful of airline staff were available to answer passenger inquiries, some travelers were unsatisfied.
The people here are not that helpful for us. They've given us numbers we've rung, we've never gone through.
This traveler from Malaysia was supposed to fly to Beijing with her group this morning.
They're telling us to get back to our travel agent from where we came from, where we did our original bookings. Yeah. So what do you feel actually? We're still around in circles. We haven't got anything definite yet.
This man from Kuntong arrived at the airport last night, even though his flight to Dubai was scheduled to leave tomorrow. I was afraid that there would be no transport coming to the airport because of the typhoon, so I came here way in advance, he said. With some 900 flights cancelled, the authority has advised passengers to check with their airline before heading to the airport. Yupinam, HKIBC.
Well, Macau also didn't escape Mangkhut's wrath as the city was pummeled by the storm. More from Sarah Wong.
Last year's memories of deadly Typhoon Hato was due on the minds of many in Macau. Now the city was bracing itself against severe Typhoon Mangkhut, a storm more powerful than Hato. Local reports say at least 7 people have been injured. Huadutarafelu has become a channel with water coming up to people's waist. The highest level black storm surge warning was issued at 2 p.m., urging people to avoid low-lying areas. But some people chose to stand in the water and take pictures. Rescuers used dinghies to look for any victims who may have been trapped by the floods. Frogmen waded through the water. Some parts of Macau were hit by a blackout. Mangkhut battered buildings around the city, scattering glass and ripping bricks of walls. At least 1,000 residents have been evacuated to 16 shelters around the city. All schools and government services have been suspended tomorrow. Even Macau's main economic driver, the casinos, suspended operations for the safety of casino employees, visitors, and residents. This was a completely different arrangement from last year when Hato struck, where casinos remained open despite the entire city losing power. Sarah Wong, HKIBC.
The central government has accused Taiwan's spy agencies of stepping up efforts to gather intelligence against mainlanders.
Stop spying on us! That was the blunt message from the central government to Taiwan today as Beijing accused the island's spy agencies of intensifying their efforts to gather intelligence. Taiwan Affairs Office spokesman An Fengshan told Xinhua News that the relevant agencies in